Okay. We're going to go live. I'm going to let people in. I'm going to go to gallery view. Hi, everybody. Hello. We're going to chat.
Oh,
We're going to chat for a moment because we're waiting on a few stragglers. As
you have some way to keep your wings warm in between?
Joey is actually in the process of prepping them right now.
All
She's
right.
in the kitchen working very hard.
Nothing worse than cold wings.
Yes. So I should also say, for the purposes of this experiment, we are going with, rather than wings, we're going with nuggets. It's just easier to do at home. But otherwise, should be pretty much the same general deal. Have you guys seen? Oh my God, Sarah, I just saw your shirt. Oh my God.
That's good. I didn't even notice that.
Oh my God.
That puts my hat into shame.
That is incredible. That's just incredible. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say about it.
Can't wait to wear it to a gig at when we're allowed to go back to gigs.
I know, right? Hi, Brandy. There's Brandy.
30-year anniversary of Teenage Dirtbag on your next tour.
Yeah. At minimum. Hi, Brandy.
Hey, I love the teaser.
There you are. Isn't that amazing? How are you doing, Brandy?
Dapper in your hat there, Brandy.
Oh, just hanging in there. Just a lovely. Memphis is under a boil water advisory.
I didn't realize that Memphis had that right now.
Yeah, so we so I was just making a fresh batch of water so that I could drink some later.
What a world.
What a world.
What a world. Well, so Brendan and Gabs are joining us shortly. They're a little bit behind, and as I said, Joey is finishing up the prep work for this experiment we're doing here. In my build up to doing this, I was sitting at my computer and I was watching videos of people doing this, and that was a huge mistake. We should not have done that. I feel very concerned now. Maybe I've now overhyped it to a degree that it's going to be better than I fear it will be.
I was picturing myself in your position, and I feel like I would be like such a wuss that I would be crying at like Pepper.
Well, so I also should say the idea that I had for this. Okay, so there's multifold. Oh, and okay, so this started because my brother, it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and my brother got me a gift certificate. Thank you. And Glenn, I know it was your birthday just yesterday, so happy birthday, Glenn.
Yeah, happy birthday.
This is a big birthday month for the Wheatus family for whatever reason. It's a lot of birthdays in February.
Mine in 3 weeks.
There you go. So my brother, for my birthday, got me a gift certificate for a hot sauce shop in New York called HEATUS. Glenn's got it. And HEATUS is the company that supplies the hot sauces for Hot Ones. So when I went to go use the gift certificate, I saw that they had the full line of the new season of Hot Ones available for purchase. And of course, instantly the Patreon content sensor of my brain lit up. And I said, this is perfect. This is what we're going to do. And so the original idea I had, this moved a little bit over the last couple days. And I thought originally it would be really fun to do this all members of the band, or as many members of the band as we could together. But logistically it was hard, because I only have the one set of the sauces, so trying to get them around to everybody was a challenge. So I was like, let's just do it one for now. And if this goes well, we can do it. Another member of Wheatus can do this down the line. But depending on how I react to this will determine whether or not anyone is going to be willing to do this again in the future. So we'll see. Because it's not... I think Brendan would potentially do it. Brendan really likes spicy things. Joey is a maybe on it. She's not... Joey also enjoys spicy things. Joey is... I'm watching Joey apply the sauce right now.
I'm hoping the word liberally is also being used at the same time.
Yeah. I think it looks like... Oh, God. It looks about
What's
right.
your normal spice tolerance?
Okay, so here's my normal
What's
This is-
your what's that chicken place that on the scale of the
Oh,
Oh,
Nando's.
Nando's.
yeah.
Oh, I get the extra hot at Nando's. I get
Oh,
the
God.
the one, the bottle, black
The
bottle
black
with
one.
the X's and the skull and cross. Like, I get that at Nando's.
That's not even hot.
It's not that hot. I agree.
It's really not.
I agree. But you know what's funny? I found historically, so it's interesting how the spices are different in different parts of the world, right? Like in the UK, the hottest thing you can get, in my experience, is going to an Indian restaurant, and you get Indian food, and Indian food can be very, very spicy. But the hot sauces at a place like Nando's, if I go for the hottest thing, that's not insanely hot, but for me, it's like good. Like, I'm happy with that. Here,
Lemon and herb is usually enough for me.
yeah, there you go.
Same.
Here,
I'm just wired differently. Chicken com is my limit.
there you go. If I want to get like hot wings here, a very common thing you find, it's like mild, medium, hot, and then it's like XXX caution insanity sauce, and I don't ever get that because I like to enjoy it, and I don't want to feel like the thing is trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
So I like really spicy, but I don't want the one where it's like your picture's going to be on the wall, because I feel like that's like too much. So that's I'm a big fan of spicy food. As Joey can attest, we add hot sauce here to just about everything we eat. So, oh God, that's a lot went on that one. Oh, it's not coming out. Okay.
What are you eating it on?
We're doing, instead of wings, we're doing nuggets, because it was just easier for us to make at home. So,
Do you have any that you're nervous about?
yes. So actually, we're gonna go over because we have all the bottles.
Ah,
So we're gonna show you guys the run. So it's supposed to go from the most mild to the hottest, and my understanding is that in this run, the top 3 are all very, very hot.
You said you watched a bunch beforehand. Did you watch Gordon Ramsay?
For anyone who's watching this who has not seen, go on Hot Ones, the YouTube channel after this, and watch Gordon Ramsay do this challenge. It is one of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life.
The very important lesson happens at the end.
Yes.
Before they make the scrambled eggs, but after he's done eating the wings, do not take a break to go to the bathroom.
Yes. Gordon took a break after eating the spiciest wing and went to the bathroom, and then he came back from the bathroom and immediately started to notice that he was feeling some sort of a burning sensation in a part of his body because he had not washed his hands. And basically, if you just want, I mean, there's plenty of this content out there already, but if you're interested in hearing Gordon say shit, fuck, shit, for like over and over again, that's what you're going to get. It's just wonderful. He's like, what? He's like, what kind of show
Fucking
is
hell.
this?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's great. It's very, very good. Oh God, here they come.
I worked with a guy that used to sell a really hot chili sauce called Mad, and it was like a little additive that you're supposed to put in like a meal you've already made. So you take out something for me and you take out something for Lee, and then you like chuck in all of the rest of the spice for the people that want it. And he had a sweatshirt to promote it, and it said, because it burns, 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 your ring's on fire.
I saw Madonna in Nashville, and she sang that. She covered that because it's in honor of Nashville.
Sorry, we're at the almost there. We're getting the last stages together here.
And she used her vagina as the trumpet sound. That she would like tap her vagina.
what?
It would. She would like say this is her crotch. She'd be like.
I mean, that sounds like a good show.
And then they messed up the first time, and she was like, "Wait, we have to start over." She's like, "We have to start over because we have to get this right." And so she was like,
A true professional.
Aristocrats.
"Yeah."
I'm loving the
just
hat, by the way,
informed me
Brandy. I'm getting a
Thank
very
you.
early 2000s singer-songwriter Gary Jules Fight for Fighting type vibe going on.
We kind of haven't been able to shower since Thursday, which is actually not that uncommon for me
Not
pre-pandemic.
at all.
But this long hair with the grease, and we have like super low water pressure because so many different water mains cracked and burst all over the city from the cold weather.
Yikes.
So we are just can't wait to get to normal pandemic life again.
Doing what you can with what you got.
Hmm.
You're getting the powder and the dry shampoo.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. I do have dry shampoo. I totally forgot about that.
Got to get back to tour life.
Yes. Yeah, I was brushing my teeth like with the cup of water, and very similar to standing outside the bus.
Speaking of tour life, while we're waiting, Matthew, do you mind if I share my screen for a second?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Are you gonna? How does it? Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Ah!
That's great. I remember that very well because I remember that was a totally casual moment where we were just hanging out in the lounge. I was like, Brandy, you look really good. And I took
really
that
good.
photo.
Yeah. That was this time last year. That was the
No, it was this time 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
I
Holy
know.
moly, that was 2 years ago.
Because it's so funny. We're gonna do this for the rest of our lives maybe now because it is like as if a year is gone, right? Like we have just fully.
Oh
We
my
have lost
gosh.
a
That
year,
is
which is wild.
Crazy.
Well, that's me.
Andrew
listening to
Livingston,
Outlander's DMR tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you, Glenn. That was a that's a good
Thank
reminder.
yes. That was
I just thought it was funny that was actually an open tab on my computer.
There you go. Yeah.
As I was going through looking for questions to ask today.
Yeah. Okay, so Joey's
Amazing.
here. I have the wings. We're gonna start. I know Brendan and Gabs are gonna join, but we're gonna just dive in for the moment, and they'll catch up. So I'm gonna give you guys. Here's how we're gonna do it because I think this is gonna be the easiest way to keep it organized. Similar to the 20 questions thing, I'm going to hide the video of any non-Wheatus members for the moment. If you have a question, if there's anything you want to ask me as we go through this this experience together, say so in the chat, and you'll be called in periodically as we go. But for ease of viewing, especially for the YouTube people, I'm going to reduce the number of screens up here. So I'm going to do that now. And
Just as a thing, do you have a pen and a piece of paper handy just in case?
oh God, what am I going to be writing down?
Well, I have a question lined up that you may need a pen and some paper for.
Oh boy. Yes, I do. I do have that here. Yes. That is ominously, but okay. Yes. All right, here we go. We're going to start getting set up now. And thank you all for joining as always. And wish me luck and all that. And here are the three of us. Okay. So as I said, Joey, I guess you keep an eye on the chat, and I will go through this. And in the meantime, I don't know. Do we have a starting? This is going to be the beginning of this is all softball, so we can start very light and easy. If either of you have something, otherwise we can.
We're gonna start light and easy. Just a quick question: do you want me to also monitor the YouTube chat, or are you watching that?
I'm watching the YouTube chat, so
Okay.
that's fine. Sarah, the questions do not have to be Wheatus related. You can ask me anything you'd like. That's fine. As always, I reserve the right to not answer, but I probably will. It's probably fine. I mean, we can go. You can go as hard hitting as you'd like. Bring it on.
Well, why don't you tell us about the first source, and then we'll ask you a question.
Yes. Okay. Great. All right. So the first sauce is this one, which is just the classic, the Hot Ones classic hot sauce. Which I have not had any of these before, I should say, because we have. This was the other sort of downside to this is like at any given moment we conservatively have 15 hot sauces in our refrigerator. So now I bought 10 more, so we have a lot.
I think we might have more than 15 right now. I think we might be up to about 20.
Well, there you go.
So
this is just the classic Hot Ones hot sauce. So
okay.
Yeah, that makes me think of Velvet Goldmine, there's this song on the soundtrack that's like something that starts with, that's the hot one. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course I do.
Yeah, this is great. This is a really great, like, kind of classic. It's the classic.
Okay, well then your classic question is, how are you?
Oh, that's
How are you feeling today?
That's a great question. I feel pretty good. I feel like I hope this doesn't turn out to be a huge mistake. There's a little bit of concern. I mean, I know it'll be fun for you guys.
Conversely, I am hoping it will be a huge mistake.
Yeah, no, I know it's going to be fun for you guys, and I'm happy to put myself out there in this way for everybody. But again, I was feeling really good about it, and then I started reading reviews of watching reaction videos to the last hottest one, and that was alarming. But we'll get more into that later. But I'm pretty good. You know, I'm feeling good. It's always good to get to see you guys and do these things. I have fun. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Is there still snow over there?
Oh, there's plenty of snow on the ground. Yeah. I think it's actually supposed to snow more tomorrow.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's Sturbins or Brendan and Sturbin. Someone's joining us here. There we go.
There they are.
There they are.
Hi.
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 Happy birthday, Sturbins.
Happy
Yay.
birthday.
How's it going?
Good. Just
So did anyone eat the hot stuff?
I just had the first one. And
Okay,
I'll show
which
you.
one was it?
I'll show you the bottle. They go from the most mild to the hottest. So this is just the classic. It was very
Great
tasty. I have to say, so not crazy spicy, obviously, but considering it's the lowest one on the poll, it had some spice to it, which is not a great sign.
Did you tell everyone that I warned you that the nuggets have some built-in spice?
I didn't actually say that. So we're using nuggets. These are usually bone-in wings, but because those are harder to make at home, we just did nuggets that we got at the supermarket. And
Oh, nice.
but then Joey just tried, and apparently they're already a little spiced, so that's not great.
The nuggets are spicy?
Apparently, it didn't say
Yeah.
that on the box, but I guess they have a little bit of spice in the breading.
I would say it has maybe a 2.5 to 3 out of 10 kick.
Oh God.
2.5. Wait, two.
Not like a 3 out of 10 spicy, but a 3 out of 10 good kick.
Okay,
Right.
wait. There's a. This is going to be a calibration thing where I'm going to try this really quick on my finger, just because I want to make sure that I'm actually getting the flavor that I think I am. Okay, I am. Yeah, you put enough on that. This is that's what I was tasting.
Yeah, I put some on both sides of
Great.
the nugget.
It's good. This is a nice sauce. I like this.
What
a
is
lot.
the nugget?
They're veggie
Nugs.
nuggets. They're
Oh,
veggie
veggie
nuggets.
nuggets.
It's
Okay.
nugs, veggie nuggets.
Right.
Great. Okay, so that was it. So now we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, you did it.
And
Well done.
And I did it. Yeah, I got through the first one. Lee asked, so I will point out, I do have a glass of milk here because that's very important for something like this.
Does the milk really do it?
The milk helps a lot. I have water as well in my bottle here, but milk is the thing that gives you the more immediate relief because it coats your throat and your tongue. Sarah says milk is for the weak. All right. Well, I haven't had any yet, Sarah. It's just a full glass for later, but thank you for that. All right, Joey, what do we want to do now?
Well, why don't you move on to the second one and invite Glenn into the chat.
Great. Okay, here we go. Glenn's coming in. Hi again, Glenn.
Hello again.
How are you?
Am I right? Happy birthday, Sturb. So she left.
Yeah, she had a birthday phone call.
Birthday buddies.
So what do you got for this second one? What sauce is it?
I'm going to show you right now.
All right.
Oh my God, this is really good. It is garlic and pepperoncini.
Ooh.
I like the looks of that. The
Yeah, I'm a big
Nice
green.
bottle.
I'm a big green sauce fan. I got a mango one from there too that was really good. So my question while you're chewing on that wing is, can you tell some cool stories or some cool things that happened when you were working at Greenwood Records?
Permanent Records.
The Permanent Records over in Greenwood over there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
I was doing some looking, and there were quite a few Matthew Milligan.
Wow.
Where did you get the pictures?
I heard on an interview about the record shop, so I just Googled the record shop, and these are stock pictures that came up. That all happen to have Matthew in the background, which tells me that you spent yourself a fair amount of time behind that counter, and you must have seen some pretty awesome things, both records, shows, some pretty crazy people. So tell some stories.
Yeah, that's very, very good. So so Glenn is coming out the gate. I think more than anyone watching this, you know this Hot Ones series better than anyone. And I remember you said a common thing in Hot Ones is you get asked a question and then you go, "Wow, how did you find that?" Which is I'm very impressed that you have photos of me at Permanent Records. I worked at Permanent Records for many years, for about 8 years. And for a long time, it was the thing that I did when Wheatus wasn't on the road. We were traveling and recording, and then when I was home, I would go there and I would work. And by the end, I actually was the manager of that shop, and with an owner who is still to this day a very close friend of mine. It was a fantastic job. I loved it so much, and I learned so much about music from doing that. Which I think is, to me, it's like one of the most important, or one of the things I value the most in being a musician is having as much exposure to other types of music and records, and hearing, the more music you hear, the better you become. You just take all of this in different ways. So I loved that job. And I only stopped because I actually stopped, I think, right before, maybe it was the year that we did the Busted tour. Because it was clear that we were going to be on the road a lot. And I used to go, and the owner was so kind and understanding that I would leave for like 4 or 5 weeks at a time and then come back, and she would kind of cover for me. And then there was this point where I was like, oh, I'm going to be gone for like months. And I just couldn't go for that long and not, leave her high and dry. So I had to train a replacement and left. And unfortunately, the store is no longer there. It went out of business. They had to move locations, and it just didn't kind of work in the new location, and so it closed a few years back. But it was great. We used to do in-store performances there. I'm trying to think of what the best in-store we had. We never had anyone like crazy famous there. We had, for anyone who's familiar, there's this amazing singer-songwriter who goes by the name Tune Yards, and she played at Permanent years and years ago and was incredible. And I saw her, actually Brendan and we both saw Tune Yards open for David Byrne a couple of years back, which is a testament to how much she climbed the ranks. She was amazing. And a few really good special guests. I mean, like shoppers who came in there. We used to have like Sufjan Stevens was a regular shopper at our store. The guys in TV on the radio shop there all the time. Yeah, it was super. It was really fun. A great thing. I will always be a strong supporter of people going out and supporting record stores. Everyone's going to listen to Spotify. That's totally fine. Do what you got to do to hear music. But if you can and you get the experience, go to a record shop and buy something, because it's a great like community place.
Matthew, Sufjan Stevens has had a lot of his music used in new works at New York City Ballet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me because he's a very, he's the sort of writer and performer who clearly just likes to do everything. He's all over the map. I remember years ago he did this like a full orchestral piece, like a symphony almost, that was called the BQE. because he said the whole thing was inspired by the BQE, which,
That's
for
cool.
people who don't know, is one of the most despised roads cutting through New York City, which is traffic. 3 o'clock in the morning, you get on the BQE, and somehow it's just bumper to bumper traffic. It's like, how is this even possible? But it's never not the worst. Yeah,
Especially in the summertime.
yeah, it's crazy.
And Brandy and Brendan, TV on the radio, wrote "Golden Age," which is a song that Fish now covers.
Oh, right.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All coming back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised that one of those photos didn't have me purchasing one of many copies of 5150, the Van Halen record, because a typical day was Matthew would like get up, make some coffee, and it would take exactly 60 seconds to walk to work, because that's how close
I was around the corner from that place. Yeah.
So, and then, you know, I would hang out for a bit, do some emails, and then come down to see Matthew and buy the same damn records every time.
Yeah.
For $3. But
three at most. Those records used to go for like 2 or 1.
yeah, I got a couple of my copies of 5150 that still have the permanent records $1 or whatever sticker on it. So
Yeah, I was looking through some of the pictures of some of the cool signs that were in the shop about, the eclectic section, or I don't remember what the heck it was called, but there were some cool things in there. It was neat.
Yeah, it was a really great shop. I was very lucky to. It could be a whole other story about how I found myself there, but just in series of crazy coincidences led me to that job. And again, 8 years, it was a long time, and I loved it. It was really, really great.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
That was a good question.
That was a really good question.
Fine question.
Okay, well, do you want to go to the third nugget? And
Third
we're going to invite in Sarah.
Sarah. Here comes Sarah.
Sour twist.
Not everyone's seen Sarah's shirt yet, so brace yourself.
Perfect.
Sarah readies her question. Nugget number 3 is this, which looks very interesting to me. Mark's Barbados style hot sauce.
That looks good.
I like the color of this one. It's got 3 little chilies on it. I don't know if that's indicating how hot it is, but we're going to find out. This one looks like it was applied very liberally.
Oh boy.
I apologize if the chewing sounds are really gross. That's good. That's good. That has that very tropical heat to it. I don't know if it has fruit in it. Does it? Yeah, mango, papaya, pineapple.
Papaya.
Yum. Ooh,
Well, that sounds complex.
it is. And actually, again, the amount of heat I'm feeling at bottle 3. I'm a little worried. Anyway, Sarah, yes, your question.
This is either going to be like a really short and rubbish question,
Totally fine.
or it will be like a really good one where you're slightly uncomfortable while you run around and work it out.
Bring it on.
How many plectrums do you own?
How many plectrums? You know what? I actually have a decent answer for this.
It's on the blue cabinet.
Yeah.
So when I actually have no idea. Oh, wait, there might be a year on this. Oh, no, there's not. This was a gift for Christmas from my youngest brother when I must have been 16, which meant he was 7. And in school, they were doing some sort of like ceramic, maybe it was shop class or art class or something like that. And he made this little container out of clay, and it opens up and it contains my plectrums. I still use it to this day. His initials are on the bottom. I don't know if you can see.
We should do a guess the jelly beans. No.
TM there for Tom Milligan. I don't know how many are in here, because also like now I'm looking, and there's also like one of these things is in there. This is just like my miscellaneous music stuff. There's some earplugs, some loose, disgusting earplugs in here.
We call it a tchotchkes case.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how many are in here. I think counting it might be not the most interesting thing. I'm dropping them all over the floor now. But
we can have people guess and win a prize. Whoever gets closest.
People can guess. You know what? That's actually a good idea. We'll have people leave guesses, and then I'll count them later, and we'll announce the number.
It would have been funnier if you were more uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly. But the correct answer is the number I have is however many can fit in this. And then they get thrown away as I wear them down and replace. And really, this has always just kind of been enough for me. As a bass player, I don't use them that often, you know. If I'm playing guitar or playing a bunch of Weezer songs.
You know, speaking of, random just made me realize. Remember, I caught one of Dave Schools from Widespread Panic. I caught one of his bass picks.
Nice. Very
Wow.
nice.
We do have a special category of bass picks in the studio here.
It's very large.
And they are the sort of strange ones. Like there's a
Triangles.
Macassar ebony pick that we have, and then there's a metal one, and then there's like a few felt picks that we messed around with on the Valentine LP. Matthew, you remember that, Jive?
Actually, you know what? I have one right there.
There you go.
Felt pick.
Yeah.
And I can show off while I'm here. A friend years ago gave me a series of gift picks. So this is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because it's sort of holographic, but a series of picks from the High School Musical movies. So there's that's Ashley Tisdale hologram. Look, whoop.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
That's so Matthew, that's probably worth like money.
These are really not for playing. You know, that would be,
That's so awesome.
That'd be bad for the value.
I have one of the dudes from oh my god, sorry, my brain. You're really growing on me.
Oh, the Dark Man.
Yeah. I have one of theirs. That they throw off stage.
Oh, I had a Darkness bass pick,
Ah.
Oh, there you go.
but I gave it to my friend's kid who was there. He's really massive Darkness fan.
Oh, well done.
It was exciting.
I don't think I have any other super interesting ones in here, but there you go. My holographic Ashley Tisdale is pretty good.
That's awesome.
There was a friend of mine got married and had all different kinds of thicknesses of like their like an owl with their like initials on it. And the day that they got married, and I took handfuls, and they got divorced, and now they keep turning up. Like every once in a while, I'll find one, and I'll be like, "Ew, that's awkward."
Oh. Matt, I'm sorry, I never found out. Are your nuggets vegan?
They are veggie nuggets, yes.
Okay.
I guess they're vegan. Actually, they're not chicken.
Okay.
They're not chicken.
And
yes.
I didn't get a chance to say happy birthday to Glenn, my birthday twin. Sorry,
Yes.
Glenn, when you were here.
That's
Happy
okay.
birthday.
There you go. I had no idea you guys shared a birthday. Very cool. Anyway, thank you, Sarah. All right.
Okay, so moving on to Nug number 4.
Yes.
And we're going to talk to Hannah.
All right. Let's bring in Hannah. And while we bring in Hannah, I'm going to show you guys. So this one, the labels are going to start to change now and become a little bit more intimidating.
Anna.
So this is the Hellfire hot sauce.
Jesus God.
And it says Roasted Reaper, which I think means it's got roasted garlic. Oh, I must have some. Oh, yeah, a Green Reaper pepper mash. Okay. So it's a green sauce, which usually are not quite as hot as the red ones, but let's see. And
What
then
is
while
the unit? What's the unit of spiciness called?
Scoville.
Oh.
And actually, you know what? On the show, they usually note the Scovilles. I don't know if I have that. I don't have that data handy. Actually, Hannah, you can ask that question while I look this up.
Looking it up.
Okay.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I really hope that one is hotter than Nando's hot sauce.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take a bite right now. The website does not have Scoville counts on it, unfortunately, so I don't know. But we will proceed anyway. Go ahead.
All right. So you've spoken in the past about famous people being rude. Finger boys. Boo. But have you ever had anybody not famous be rude to you, like someone online or someone that came to a show and was just like dickish?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love this question.
This is a great question. Not quite as hot as the Nando's even. Again, we're only at number 4 of 10 here. This is nice. This is a really good verde sauce. It's not as hot as the label makes me think. Maybe the labels are changing my expectations here. This is okay. This, you could apply this liberally to eggs or something, and you'd have a great time. Yes. And it's funny, actually, because it hasn't happened lately so much. We used to get it a lot. I think Brendan is going to know some of these stories as well. I specifically remember it happening at like uni type shows. And after, I have a very vivid memory of after a uni show. I think it was the one we played with Florence and the Machine. And we were at our bus, and these 2 kids were walking by, and one of them just was yelling shit at us and just being like, "Oh, you wankers," like just going on and on about how horrible we were. And his friend was doing the less drunk friend thing of like, come on, let's go. Like just trying to get him out of there because he was like really yelling at us. And of course, we didn't do anything. We were just like standing there, like kind of laughing, which made it worse. Like that made him more mad at us. That we were not like angry back. You know that thing if someone's really mad and then you are not at their level of anger and that just makes them even more mad? Like they want to fight with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to happen more. People used to get really upset. There was also a time, this was many years ago, I think in 2007, where some guy, remember the guy who threw like flour at our tour bus?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That was in Yeovil.
In Yeovil.
Yeah.
This guy threw like a sack of flour at the front of our tour bus. I don't know
And then,
what.
do you remember he threw flour on the bus window and then wrote with his finger, fascists?
Fascists. Yeah. He called us fascists.
Yeah.
And the best part of that was he did that and he got arrested for that.
Really?
The venue called the police and they took him away in handcuffs. And as the police were talking to him, MC Lars came out because we were touring with him at that point. And this guy was like, "Oh, MC Lars, I love you. You're amazing." And we were like, you know, he's also on that bus that you just threw stuff at. Like, it's weird. I mean, you know, I think we've had a thing. This part is still the case, but I think people are less mad at it now, where people think we are more wealthy, famous, successful, whatever you want to say, than we actually are. And it makes them uncomfortable and I don't know. They think of us as like celebrities in this way that is just, I mean, you guys know, is not the reality of the situation for us. And people get mad at celebrities. And I always thought it was weird when we did the tour with, and this is a different thing, but when we toured with Son of Dork with Bowling for Soup years ago, and people in those crowds, so people who were going to see Bowling for Soup would see Son of Dork with James Bourne on stage, and they were so angry. Like, It made them so mad that this guy was performing, and I never could understand why. As an outsider who wasn't as familiar with the UK music scene at that point, I just remember thinking, like, to my ear, these two bands don't sound that different.
No.
They're really not that far apart from each other, and it's weird to me that Bowling for Soup are, like, legit punk rockers, and Son of Dork are worthy of, like, throwing things at. It was the weirdest thing to me. I couldn't quite understand. But anyway, I think that's usually where it comes from, that kind of anger and dickishness, as you said, is people just really don't get. People think we're at some level, or we can take it because we're past some level that they.
My favorite version of what Matthew's talking about is this really kind of like, if you're at a meet and greet afterwards, often, you know, there's like a signing of CDs or something along those lines. We really don't like to do that sort of thing. I think anyone who's been to our shows knows that we're more accessible than that, rather than set up.
I mean, we'll sign anything, but not in a formal meet and greet setting. It's rare that we do that.
Well, I've signed body parts and all things in between, but you know, the formality of it is something that when we're on tour with other bands, sometimes we have to do set up tables and do a lineup and stuff. And my favorite thing that happens is if the line is passing you by and somebody in the line doesn't necessarily like you, I've had this happen more times than I can count. Somebody will like slide a CD across and go, "I'm not really into your band, but you can sign it if you want." That's my bad. I get such a kick out of that. My heart grows like 4 sizes whenever somebody does.
Do you sign it when they say that?
Yeah, of course.
That was the thing on the Bowling for Soup tour. We did those every night on that tour. We like this rows of tables for all the bands. And it was hilarious because some people wouldn't do that. Some people just would not have you sign something. So it was really funny to be like, "Ooh, Army of Freshmen, get their signatures," and then they get to you, and they'd be like, and they just keep walking. And it was really funny. You have to laugh at that kind of thing because if you take that personally every time, you're gonna lose your minds. You just you gotta let that.
That's one of the things about like if you're gonna put music out, anybody who makes anything creative and releases it to the public, you have to be ready for like some degree of hatred that you didn't think existed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
true. Thank you, Hannah. Good question. I like that question a lot.
Okay, so how was the sauce? Not that hot, but nice.
Not that hot, but very tasty. Very flavorful.
Good.
Surprising. It had such an ominous name.
It did.
Ooh,
space. I have had those, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
Have indeed.
Pickled onions. Huh.
Yeah, that's in that strange. Remember we did that series, Hannah, where we were like Matthew was trying strange
crisps.
UK snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to do that again. Can't wait to do that again.
I love that kind of thing. Yeah, Matthew, you had these, and I think Brendan, you had Skips, and you were like,
yeah. Well, you do. The UK has some really strange flavors of snack that I always scratch my head at. Matthew's excited for these new.
I really like the pickled onion flavor, which we don't have so much here. I think that's a really good chip flavor or crisp flavor, right. I should say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Again, thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we're moving on to number 5. You're
Number 5.
basically halfway.
We're about the halfway point.
And you're doing fine.
I am doing fine. I'm drinking water. It's mostly just as a flavor cycle. Like, this is okay. I'm doing fine right now. When you see me go for the milk, again, it's here. When you see me go for the milk, you're going to know that that's we might have a problem.
Does it need to be dairy milk in order to work, or is it like just milk?
Good question, because it's oat milk.
I think it is supposed to be dairy milk, but we don't have that, so
we don't know that.
That had not occurred to me until now.
I was going to say it's possible that oat milk could exacerbate the issue.
Well, that'll be fun for everyone to experience.
I don't think it would exacerbate it. I think at worst it will do nothing. But Matthew, the placebo effect is real. So
it would have been real if no one had said anything about how it wouldn't work.
That's true.
Anyway, someone in the chat wants to Google if the oat milk combined with hot sauce will kill me. That's great. If it won't kill me, then I'm going to proceed. I'm going to start prepping number 5. Joey, do you have something?
Prep number 5, and then we're going to talk to Carly.
Matthew, on a side note, if you were to die from eating hot sauce on a Zoom chat for our Patreon, that's some next level, like...
I mean, it would be great for y'all.
Yeah, we'd get so many views.
You guys would crush it, and I would happily take... Well, maybe not happily is the right word. But if that was my last dying thoughts, were like, oh, Wheatus is going to get great PR for this. Like, I feel okay about that. That's fine.
Hi, Carly.
Hi.
Hello.
So, Carly, just before you ask the question, I'm going to set this up. This is another, very generic. It is the Los Calientes hot sauce, which I guess is going to be like the classic, only I'm going to assume considerably hotter. So here we go. And then I'm looking forward to your question.
Jonesy's not having any?
Just not me today.
Okay, well, my question is, if you could only play one video game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh.
What a that's a devastating question. Wow, Carl.
That's a great question. That's a great question. Wow. A couple things come to my mind. I very recently finished playing. Well, I finished the main campaign of Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which I absolutely loved, and it's one of those games that it's clear, even finishing the campaign, I can go back and there's so much more I could do. Best I can tell, you could probably play that game almost forever and keep finding side tasks and submissions to complete. So that's a strong contender. I love the Zelda games. Those were like, when I was growing up, the first game I ever played that like really blew my mind and kind of changed my life was Zelda's Ocarina of Time, as it has for many, many people. So it probably has to be that. It's a toss-up because I also love, in terms of replayability. No, I have to go with that. In terms of like replaying and keep going and getting into it more and more, I'm going to say that that's the game for me.
Oh, nice.
Ocarina of Time or the new one?
No, the new one. The new one because it's bigger. It's got more to it. Like Ocarina of Time is, I think, still a contender for maybe the greatest video game ever made. But
can you like jump in the new one, or is it still like a?
See, Brandy knows. You can actually jump in the new one. It used to be a weird feature in Zelda games that you could do all this stuff, but you couldn't jump. It was a weird thing. But now you can. Yeah, no, I love those games very much. One of the other things I thought of right away actually was the Portal games, specifically Portal 2, which I stopped playing video games for years, kind of actually when I started really getting into music. I just shifted my focus a lot, and then when I got back into games, it was because of Portal, which my brother told me to play and was also a mind-blowing experience.
Matthew, I remember in the old apartment you introduced me to Journey, and I really
we played Journey there, yes,
really
which is
that.
another wonderful game. Probably not one to play for the rest of your life because you beat it in about an hour, but that would be a
but it was so peaceful.
It's amazing. I mean, we're now in this. It started, I guess, that's probably like 10 years ago now, but this door opened up.
The same thing.
The door opened up for like smaller video game makers to make these like indie games, which for years you couldn't do, like unless you got a deal with Nintendo or Sega or Sony. You couldn't release a game, and now they have these small video game stores like Steam or even the PlayStation Network and the Nintendo Network, where like little one-sitting video games can get made and played, and I love them so much. And Journey is like the first one of those I ever played that I loved. Zelda, for sure. Thank you, Carly.
And a Wheatus song.
And a Wheatus song, yes.
Oh yeah. Written with James Bourne, who you were just talking about.
That's right. James Bourne heavy. Okay, we've passed the halfway point.
We have. Just to check in with you, how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's starting to aggregate a little bit now. I feel like a little bit. I also don't know if I'm feeling anxiety about what's coming. Because it's a little bit of that too, maybe. Joey, you said that the little
chocolate drop is your 12.
Is 12 noon. Chocolate drop is 12 noon. You guys don't need to know what that means. But I do.
Well, you can show them if you want to.
Joey, arrange the nuggets on a plate. I don't want them to fall though.
Okay.
Joey, arrange the nuggets on a plate and put a little thing of chocolate here, so that I know how to go around in a circle.
Oh.
Very clever. Okay, number 6.
Number
I should also
6.
say I know that we definitely want to get to every Patreon person's questions, but if you guys have anything you want to ask as well, that's totally acceptable. If we run low on questions.
Well, Glenn actually has another question.
That's great.
So he's going to come back in now. Brendan and Sturbins, if you guys have a question, you can ask next. Yeah. Otherwise,
I generally don't accept questions from my bandmates, so this is a rare opportunity for you guys to ask me something. All right, so let's bring Glenn back, and we're getting to this one, which is, another name and label I really, really enjoy. This is Tears of the Sun. And it is a Caribbean-style ghost pepper sauce. So I think this is probably going to be similar to that Barbados one, which I enjoyed.
If you ever have another gift certificate, this is the one that I've opened so far from my bucket.
Glenn, we have had that before, and it is fantastic.
We have that in our fridge right now.
Yeah, this one's really good, and it's good on just about anything.
Just about anything.
So.
Yeah.
Glenn, go ahead. I'm gonna.
All right. So this is a leading question that I think can lead to a greater story. Have you ever seen AC/DC live? And if not, why not?
Glenn really knows how to make.
Glenn knows the trick of ask the question that you already know the answer to, because it leads to the good. This you are an interviewer, which I have much respect for.
I'm trying to play the Sean Evans role here, man.
Glenn is our Sean Evans, who is the host of Hot Ones for people who don't know. This is good. This is the first one that is feeling. This is hot. But I did eat the whole thing. I don't need to eat the whole thing every time. I'm putting that disclaimer out there right now.
You know, you're probably better off because the more food mass there is, the more it'll be broken up by,
I ate a huge bowl of Cheerios before we started this. I wanted to make sure my stomach was full.
Yeah.
I have never seen AC/DC. And Glenn, interesting you asked this question because there's a whole story behind it. I got invited to go see AC/DC once when I was 16, I want to say. Do you not know this story, Brandy? You know some version of this. If you don't, I'm going to be blown away. A friend of mine got free tickets to go see AC/DC at a place called the Roseland Ballroom in New York City, which is no longer there, but was a club that holds like, I don't know, maybe 2,000 people, something like that. Small. I mean, for AC/DC, this is crazy small.
And also the location of a very important Fish show.
Yes.
Roseland Ballroom is, again, RIP Roseland Ballroom, because they demolished it maybe 10 years ago now. That was an amazing venue. I saw a lot of incredible shows there. So AC/DC were playing Roseland Ballroom. I'm 16, I want to say. And at this point, I'm going to see shows. I live on Long Island. I'm about an hour on the train away from New York City. And I go to see shows in New York City like 2 or 3 nights a week. My parents are generally very good sports about me doing this on school nights because I never missed school. I always was up early, even though like I get home at 2:00 in the morning and then have to be up at 6 for school. It was horrible. Like in retrospect, like what a crazy nightmare. But I did it because I loved shows so much. And for whatever reason on this night, my parents were just like, "You are not going to this show." They were like, we are putting our foot down. We are adults, and you are a child, and you are not going. Because I had just gone to see some show in the city, and it was probably dumb show that I saw. And they were like, you just saw that one, so you can't see this one.
This is my parents did this because I was a big into the concerts, and they would every once in a while they'd say no to a show just because I needed to hear no sometimes.
That's pretty much what this was. Yeah. And I did the whole thing where I was like, no, you don't understand. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime show. And they said, in retrospect, very accurately, you say that about everything. Which was true. I'm sure I did. So they said no, and they would not let me go to this show.
Oof.
So my friend Andrew, I had to tell him, like, I can't go. They won't let me go. This is also like that day. Like I get the notice, like we have to go like in an hour. And they said no. So I didn't have time to like plead my case or sweet talk them or like make a deal. It was just done. So Andrew, instead of inviting me, he invites our friend Craig, who is still both of these guys are still very close friends. Some of you might know Craig helped us out with merch on the last UK tour that we did. He's one of my oldest friends. Both of them are. And so Craig goes instead of me. And they're at the show. They see the show. As they're leaving the show, I'm going to tell the slightly even longer version of the story because I think it's worth it. As they're leaving the show, they're walking through the crowd, and they run into Andrew WK. They bug out. Oh my God, it's Andrew WK. They take photos. This is, of course, in the era of like actual cameras, right? It's not cell phones photos or anything. Like they're taking like photos with disposable cameras. Andrew WK, whole thing. They are like, holy shit, I can't believe we ran into Andrew WK. Right after Andrew leaves, they turn another corner, and then Craig goes, oh my God, that's Brendan from Wheatus. And my friend Monson, who now Brendan knows very well, a longtime friend of the band, Andrew Monson from Wheatus, legendarily, we will never let him forget this. He goes, who cares? We just met Andrew WK, the guy from Wheatus? What are you talking about? And Craig is like, well, I want to meet him. So Craig walks up to Brendan. I mean, Brendan, I'll let you tell the part of the story where like Craig said hi to you.
So we were on Sony. This was 2002, and AC/DC signed their catalog over to Sony that year, which was a huge deal. And to do a showcase for Sony, they played Roseland Ballroom, which was absurd, unheard of. They were playing football stadiums, and they decided, well, let's throw in this little club, you know? Anyway, they flew their entire football stadium, PA, or part of it at least, in Roseland Ballroom. So it wasn't just the coolest show in the world, it was the fucking loudest thing anyone had. Like, it was so, the PA was so overpowered that it was obscene. It was like, the ratio was absurd. So I was sort of beside myself because the first time I saw AC/DC when I was 13, Malcolm Young was not on stage with them. It was 1988 or 87, I think. Actually, it was December of 87, and they were in. Malcolm was in rehab, so Stevie Young, the current guitarist, was in the band the first time I saw them. So I'd never seen the complete original lineup, and this was the first chance I got to do that. And so this was Phil Rudd, Cliff Williams, Malcolm, Angus, and Brian. And I was freaking out. And they played my favorite AC/DC song. They played Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. And like, I took out my earplugs for that for a second, but I stuck them right back in because it was like a chainsaw, like in your ear. Like, it was so loud. It sounded great, but it was just overpowered. And Billy Joel was there in the balcony, like dancing like a fool next to Marilyn Manson. I'll never forget that. So it was pretty star-studded night. But this kid and I spent the whole night next to the sound booth watching their front of house engineer do his thing, because that was the only chance I was ever going to get to do that, because he was only blocked off by some little fencing, you know, so you can get right up there. I was right behind him. So show's over, people are milling about. And this kid comes up to me with a bandana on and a big old puffy, like, denim coat. And he's like, "You're Brendan from Wheatus. Can I get a picture with you?" And I was instantly convinced that I was going to get punched as soon as the picture got snapped. Because that was a thing. Like, I didn't expect to be recognized at a show like this, nor did I expect anyone to want a photograph. So it was kind of like I suspected something. It's like I was fully suspicious of the motivation.
It is worth noting, Craig is like kind of like me. He's like a bigger dude, like long hair, and again a denim jacket. Like, he looks like the sort of guy who could be trouble.
Yeah,
he's not, but he looks like he could be.
He had a foot on me.
Yeah,
and 100 pounds, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna okay, get ready, Anyway, turned out to be sincere. Dude taking the picture couldn't have gave a fuck, right?
That's Andrew. That's my friend.
And I don't know, Matthew, if that was where I exchanged numbers with Craig.
So it wasn't, because what happened there was the end of this story is they take the photo. That photo exists. It's at one point was hanging in our studio. We have it around somewhere at this point, but of the two of them meeting at this show. And then a short while after that, Wheatus played at the Downtown. And I think I told this story somewhat recently as well, where just to add one more level to it, Craig was like, "Ooh, Wheatus are playing the Downtown. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, "That's okay. I'm good. I don't need to go." because I didn't have any money. I was broke at that point, and I just couldn't go to shows that I just couldn't afford it. And but Craig went, and Brendan saw him again, and they remembered each other. Like Brendan remembered, like, oh, you're that guy from the AC/DC show. And at that point, that was, I mean, Brendan, that might have been McCabe's last gig.
It was too
Yeah.
soon.
So Brendan said to Craig, I think this is McCabe's last show. I need a bass player. And
that
Craig.
was 3 months later, man. 3 years later.
It was years later.
Yeah.
And,
Wait a minute. Hold on. How did Craig just go to the show and meet Brendan?
At the AC/DC show or the downtown show?
The second one.
So the downtown was like the only, for a short time, the only like legit, like good sounding club venue on Long Island. And you have to say, like, that place sounded incredible. I saw Colin there. Like that place was we never had anything like that growing up on Long Island. It was like a real legit, like, beautiful sounding club. And we had finished Too Soon Monsoon and released it, and it was our record release party. And I think Craig was probably on an email list back then, got invited to the show and showed up and came up to me afterwards. And I was like, "Oh, you're a kid from the AC/DC show, right?"
Oh, okay. So you were like out in the meeting people and
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And at that point, so Brendan said, yeah, like, that's probably McCabe's last show. I think you probably said it as a concern, like, I got to find a new bass player.
Right.
And Craig just said, is like, oh, I know a guy. And I don't think Craig gave you my number, but you two exchanged numbers and continued the conversation. And at that point, I was going to NYU studying music. Craig put me and Brendan in touch.
With Lady Gaga.
Well, with Lady Gaga at the time,
Lady
yes.
Gaga.
That's right. Yeah, so Lady Gaga and I are still very close friends. It's a shame I don't see her as often with the pandemic, but, you know.
I hate to do this, but we have to depart because we have Sturban's birthday plans today, extravaganza. So,
Oh wait, but Sturbsy had the next question. Can you ask it quickly?
Okay, so after the question, we'll go.
Okay, so we're going to cut quick, but the short answer is, Glenn, I never got to see AC/DC, but not seeing AC/DC led to me joining Wheatus.
And have your parents since reminded you of that fact?
Yes, they have, and I should note, I think my dad is in the YouTube chat right now, and I tell this story, I've told this story before, and they always feel very badly in retrospect, but it did ultimately work out fine, so I'm not mad at my parents for this. It's all good. But I have still never seen AC/DC, and that's just the reality of the situation. We all have to live with that.
It was a once in a lifetime thing.
yeah.
It was indeed. I could argue that this Zoom is also a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I guess we get a lot of these, don't we?
There we go.
And Brendan, in case you forgot, you did offer to buy the band tickets next time AC/DC goes on tour.
When the pandemic is over,
He did.
Band field trip for AC/DC is absolutely required.
Brandy, well done saying that publicly. Good job.
Just before I go, did Craig's brother ever forgive the father for spoiling Who Killed Dumbledore?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's one of my favorite stories.
I love that story so much.
I love that story.
All right, I'm going to get Sturban's questions in, but thank you, Glenn.
To be clear, like I'm just allowed to ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're going to do it while I eat this nugget. And
Okay.
this is really quick. This is the Honey Badger Honey Mustard Killer Sauce, which is supposed to be, this is number 7 of 10. So we're getting up there at this point.
So I start asking now while he's eating?
Mhm.
Okay. So I would like, this is a 2-part question. The first part is, not including the bass, what is your favorite instrument to play? And the second part of the question is, what instrument do you not currently play that one day you would like to learn?
That's hot.
Oh,
Okay. All right. We're getting serious now. Okay. What's, aside from bass, what's my favorite instrument to play? Probably probably keyboards. I enjoy playing piano. I wish I was better at it. I know, Sturbans, you've been putting a lot of time into your piano chops. in the pandemic, and I wish I had been doing the same thing because you need a lot of time on that instrument. I feel like some instruments have like steeper or smaller learning curves to get the basics down on. And piano, it takes a lot of work to get to a point where you can really comfortably separate your hands and play like smoothly. As opposed to bass, which is actually an instrument that's easy to pick up and get the basics on very quickly. I think mastering it takes a lot of time, but it's easy to just start with. So piano is probably my favorite, although I wish I was better at it. Something I would like to learn. Oh my God. Something I'd like to learn would be... I'd love to learn how to play some sort of the first instrument I played in school that I got handed in 4th grade was the trumpet. And I was awful at it. I was so bad. And I remember very clearly doing it for 4th grade. And at the end of that year, the teacher saying to me, "It's okay if you don't want to do this." Which even at that age I knew meant, you suck at this and you're probably not going to get better. And I dropped it. But I wish that I had, I almost would like to go back to that and try it more just to see if I could now. Wow. It's a totally different sort of instrument, but it's so different. I'd love to like have some redemption on the trumpet. I don't have one, and I don't see myself getting one anytime soon, but that would be fun.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. It honestly turned me off. Because I didn't play the trumpet, I fell out of the school band program, and I had to learn on my own. I didn't play in school like so many people did, because it's kind of crazy that they make you pick your instrument when you're 10 years old. That's too young.
I failed band in the 7th grade.
Did you really?
I did.
I do think a lot about, I wonder what would have happened if in 4th grade, like they randomly put you in a room. I do think it was totally random whether you were in band or orchestra. And I would love to know what would have happened if they had put me in orchestra and handed me something with strings. Because I didn't get that was not an option for me. I wonder if at that age I would have taken to like the cello or the violin or something that's closer to what I do now. Or if I just wasn't mentally there at that point,
Side note, I went to a grammar school that did not have a band, but they did offer a guitar class instead of taking music. And I got kicked out of my 4th grade guitar class.
Wow. There you go.
And it wasn't for troublemaking.
The formal education's not for everybody, you guys. That's really that's the lesson.
My visual of that is in Parks and Recreation when what's his face takes the guitar classes and already knows how to play.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he goes to college and he's like, "I'll take intro to guitar." And he's like, he knows how to play the guitar already, and he's like just enjoying the credit. And he's like, "Does anyone know what this is? That's an E chord, and that's a capo." "Oh, I mean, I don't know what any of this is."
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, well, unfortunately, we have to sign off. We have to go have a huge...
All good. Enjoy the birthday festivities.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Stubbsy.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye. Bye. See you soon. I don't know how to quit.
Sorry. Stand by.
If only I knew how to quit you.
I don't know how to quit you.
Stand by. Here we go. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a good question.
That was a good question.
And we are moving on to number 8. And we are going to invite Lee into the chat.
Okay.
So get your pencil and paper.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. This is fine. This will do. Let me invite Lee in. Oh, God. So, the next, as Lee enters. Hi, Lee.
Hello.
This is, okay, so now we're in the final 3. And I have heard a lot about this sauce. It's supposed to be really rough. And it is called Da Bomb.
To bomb beyond insanity.
To bomb, exactly. And Oh, this is actually Da Bomb Evolution.
Ah.
I think it's the most recent edition of Da Bomb. It's the same company. This is the first one that has a full-fledged warning on the side that says this sauce is extremely hot. Keep out of reach of children. Consume 1 drop at a time, which is not the situation I'm currently entering.
I didn't see that before.
That's okay. No, that's not what they would do on the show. It would be applied to the wing as normal. Okay. My nose is running from that last one a little bit.
Do you need tissue?
No, I have tissues here. I think I'm fully prepared. I'm mostly just apologizing in advance for any sounds that are about to be made from me. I'm sorry. Okay, Lee, I am ready for you, and I'm going to take a bite of this.
Okay. This is completely out of left field, and we've left it until the very end because the less likely you are able to think straight, the better. This was lifted from a GCSE maths paper from the United Kingdom. So, while you can think straight.
Okay.
Nadia has £5 to buy pencils and rulers. Pencils are 8p each. Rulers are 30p. She says, I will buy 15 pencils and then I will buy as many rulers as possible. With my change, I will buy more pencils. How many pencils and rulers does she buy?
And you...
Also, I've just realised while you've been doing the rest of this, I've been sat here playing my guitar and I've just surreptitiously been playing Creeping Death for the last hour.
Wow. I felt okay about that sauce until I tried to talk. That creeps up on you. I'm going to need you to read that off one more time. Give me that question one more time. I can do it. I know I can do it.
Nadia has £5 to buy pencils and rulers. Pencils are 8p each. Rulers are 30p each. She says, I will buy 15 pencils. Then I will buy as many rulers as possible. With my change, I will buy more pencils. How many pencils and rulers does she buy?
Okay, so she spends £1.20 on pencils the first time, and then tell me again the rule about rulers. How many?
Rulers are 30p each,
and
so
then
she'll buy 15 pencils, and then as many rulers as she can afford, and then with what's left over, she will buy more pencils. How many pencils and rulers does she buy?
This is only getting worse. This one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh shit. I lost. Okay. Okay. So. 3.
The number of times I'd have to start over trying to figure this out is
17 pencils and 12 rulers.
It is indeed. Congratulations.
Wow.
I do wish that Sturbans was here because she would appreciate that as another mathlete. I was a real math nerd in school, and that just came in handy. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Hang on one second.
For penny sweets.
Okay. Oh my God. Wow, that is serious. That is a very hot sauce. That's the first one.
We've reached the death door.
That's the first one that I guess they heard the top 3. That's the first one that really is doing things to me. Okay. Thank you, Lee.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay.
I'll continue playing Creeping Death in the background now.
Please do. Okay. All right. We got 2 left.
Okay. On to Nug number 9. And we have a question from our very own Brandy Lee.
Great. All right, Brandy. I'm going to intro this, and then you can start talking anytime. This is called This is called the Eye of the Scorpion.
Ooh.
The last 2 hot sauces in this run that they've done here are really rough because most hot sauces are like a combination of various things and flavors and whatnot. And this sauce is basically just crushed scorpion peppers with a little bit of vinegar. And the last one is the same, but with a different pepper. So there's not much to hide from the reality here. So, all right. So I'm going to take a bite, and you can ask me anytime what you want to ask me.
Okay. This is during this pandemic, I've been going back and trying to tackle repertoire that is challenging and that I like just don't want to do and stuff like that. As a bass player, what styles are super challenging that you just like, I'll do that another time, not today? And what is your least favorite or most difficult Wheatus song?
Sorry, one more time. Say that again. My least favorite.
Your most difficult Wheatus song.
Good. Okay, I have to do it. I'm going for it now. Thank you. Wow. The hardest. I have very little. I have very little. That's tastier than the bomb, I will say. The bomb is like, the bomb is rough. This has a good flavor to it that is growing in spiciness as time passes. The genre that's probably hardest for me is I have really no background whatsoever in jazz. And so anytime I have to do anything jazz related, it is just not in my wheelhouse at all. I said to Joey, like, it was 2 Christmases ago, I got hired to do a Christmas party, like, private show for this band. I am sweating at this point. And for that show, we did a lot of like standards, that kind of thing, and I had to do a lot of like Frank Sinatra tunes, and it was so hard for me. Like I just don't know those. This is maybe a little too inside for the music thing, but when I'm saying like, I was going to say, I don't know those changes, which is like a term, like in rock, you get used to a certain set of chord sequences and the way things move, you get used to things. And jazz moves in a totally different way. And I couldn't anticipate anything. I had no idea where I was at any point. I had to really follow the music. I had to really follow the music a lot. And in doing so, thank you for the eyes. I'm not gonna rub my eyes. I'm using my thing like this.
Thank you, eyes.
That's very hard for me. So anytime I have to do anything, even simple jazz, like it's just not in my wheelhouse at all. And I also still struggle with a lot of the prog stuff. Like we've done in Wheatus, we've done like a couple of Rush covers, and I have been working on that kind of thing since I was a kid. But unless I play it all the time, it's very, very challenging to just randomly like work up a single Rush song is like, you really have to enter a new level of focus. I'm starting to burp now.
What about like playing styles? What's most difficult? Like
playing styles.
Like there's like the slap, like the is that
slap playing? I again needs like time to get back into that groove. I actually just did a recording for a friend from home, and it was a lot of slap playing, and it hurts my fingers again. It's a different like part of your finger. Like when you do a slap pop thing, like it's a different place where a blister forms on your hand from all the tension of the
like
pop.
a callousy type thing.
Yeah, so I have to I have to like work that up again. Slap pop is hard and not definitely not my area of expertise. I also am not as good at playing with a pick as I would like to be most of the time, which is funny because most people, the consensus is that that's easier than playing with your fingers, but I play with my fingers so much more than with a pick that I don't have my wrist technique for strumming is not as good. So these are all good, like, examples of, like, these are the things you should, in theory, work on all the time. Like, the ones that you're weak on, you practice with, but inevitably, I find myself, like, I don't actually go back to these things until I have to, and then I sit here and struggle for a really long time. Yeah, and you asked about the hardest Wheatus song to play, and it's probably it's probably either, I mean, Lullaby is really hard, especially for me and Brandy, because we play the same, like, it's pretty much a straight double, isn't it, Brandy?
Pretty much.
We're playing like the same line the whole song, but the line is odd and moves in weird time. And the middle section of that song has, like, we are off rhythm from the rest of the band, and if we have to do it exactly together, it's very, very tough. The hardest one that we play regularly is Valentine, I think, because I play a syncopation to the band the whole song. And actually, I was really happy with the fact that on the last round of touring we did, we played that song so much that for the first time I started to really feel comfortable with it because we were playing it every night. The problem with that song for years was that it was really hard, and we'd go on tour and then not play it for like 3 weeks. And they'd be like, oh, we should do Valentine. It's like, oh my God, I'm just like, it's so much focus and work for me to play that part right. So it takes a toll.
Video footage of you somewhere when we're playing on our in-ears, and you had to stare at the wall so that you could concentrate. So it's just silence.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys, for watching me play, you will periodically see, there is definitely footage of me doing it where I am like, I have my eyes shut and I'm facing away because I am so focused on what I'm hearing. Sometimes I will even stomp my foot in a way that looks like I'm like an angry dog or something. Like, it's just the amount of like brain separation to play that part while hearing the band and making the adjustments that you need to make while you're playing live music with a band. That is a very, very hard song to play, but I love it. Again, when it's right, that song is magical to me. But it's hard. And it's one of those songs where I feel like if we start it, if at the beginning of the song I'm a little off, it's very hard for me to re-get my place. If I miss it at the top, it's kind of the whole song's doomed.
And also hilarious because that couldn't be an almost like painfully easy on my.
I remember talking to you about that once, about how, like, yeah, for on keys it's pads. I mean, you're just like holding these chords. Yeah, there's nothing to it. Even for Brendan, it's big, like single strums on the chords. It's really a very sparse song in a lot of ways. But the drums and bass are doing this weird rhythmic thing through the whole track. That makes it really tough rhythmically.
Wonderful.
I talked through enough of that question that it's finally starting to like reduce a bit, the heat happening, which is good because I have the last one now. Thank you for your question, Brandy.
No problem. No problem.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Well, it's almost over.
Okay.
Do you need a moment?
No, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, here we go. You know what this is. Would you like to tell us about the sauce first?
Sure. So yes, as Glenn pointed out, this is the a thing on Hot Ones. The last sauce they always call the last dab. This is my first time ever trying a last dab hot sauce. They've done a bunch of these over the years, and this one is unique because this is the last dab Apollo. And the Apollo pepper is brand new. And it's like a hybrid of a Reaper and something else. We were talking about Scoville counts earlier. My understanding is that this is new enough and hot enough that they actually don't have a solid Scoville count on this yet. This is the only way you can get it. It's only available in this one hot sauce. But it appears to be the hottest pepper currently on the market. So that's alarming. And I'm going to follow Hot One's tradition, which is that what you were supposed to do, it's called the last dab because you take the nugget and you add a little bit extra to the top, one more dab of the sauce.
Just so you know, while you're doing this, do you want to invite Sarah back into the chat? She has one more question.
Yes, I'm still burping. Do you guys hear this?
Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't expect that part. That's like my digestive tract is fighting back. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
You're going to wind up having to make another shirt after this to commemorate this moment.
I'll just like print your face, like crying.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to hold a.
I did. You see that? Yeah, there. It's like a little extra dab.
That's a good dab.
Oh
I
my
used to
God.
hold a sign outside a piercing shop,
Oh, I smelled it.
and there was a guy that sold chili sauce there. And
Oh, yeah?
watching all of the like hard men come over and be like, "Oh, what's your hottest?" and like watching them cry when they actually tried the hottest one was particularly good entertainment. So
Yeah.
good nostalgia moment here.
Oh, good. I'm happy to help. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, you guys, and whenever you're ready, Sarah.
Okay. So I imagine that your parents, despite stopping you from going to see AC/DC for free, are lovely and generous people. And they therefore have given you a £5 pocket money allowance every week. If you had £5 and had to go and buy sweets with your pocket money, what would you spend your £5 on? Apart from milk.
I'm feeling. Everything's fine. It's fine. Okay. Wow. That's a real, that takes a second. If I had £5 pocket money to spend on snacks, what would I spend it on? Sweets specifically.
Sweets, yeah. You can include crisps in that if you want.
Okay. I would. Oh my God. It feels like I am going to break the microphone with the fire that is coming out of my mouth. It is as if, this is weird. I have never had a hot sauce that felt like this, where like it's burning like here. Like I feel it here more than in my mouth. I mean, it's hot here too, but it's like throat, which I did see in one of the videos that I shouldn't have watched. So specifically, British sweets. I love a fruit and nut. Anytime I'm in the UK, that's like that's my go-to. It has to be my singular go-to. I feel hot, physically hot, right now.
Yes,
fruit and nut. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Brandy. Yeah, we keep fruit and nut on our rider actually, and some days we actually get to have some before Brendan comes in and eats the whole freaking thing. He gets we get the family size, like the one that's like you could crack it over your knee. And he will eat, he'll just somehow manage to take a bite out of the middle of it.
that is great. And now that's like a
yeah. So I love fruit and nut. What else over there? It's funny, Joey got my brother for Christmas an assortment of British sweets from the shop. There's a British shop Wow, now my mouth is hurting. How is this happening in like these crazy, like now my lips feel like they're on fire. That's so weird. I almost took another bite because it was hot, but I thought like, oh, but it's not where I expected, but it's coming in waves. Anyway, Joey, remind me of some of the things that you got my brother.
A crunchy, Arrow, toffee crisp, maybe a Lion bar, maybe twirl, timeout, all the standards, I think.
I'm seeing
There was a Whisper. Actually, I think maybe it was a Whisper Gold. I feel like there were some limited edition ones. I got some fancy ones.
I'm seeing Hannah and Sarah think that Fruit and Nut is an old lady bar. And I mean,
it does have a reputation.
I will take that on. I will proudly stick with my answer, despite it being an old lady bar. We don't really have that here. I think the difference is it's not a variety that pops up in U.S. supermarkets very often.
And actually, I just read an article about why British and European chocolate is so much better than American chocolate.
Don't touch my face. Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
And I don't remember. I can't remember what it was. It had something to do with, it was like the regulation that they make, the fat content or something has to be higher in the UK and in Europe or something, milk fat or I don't know.
Because of the delay in shipping. So to get it from England to America, the chocolate went stale. So it's like stale chocolate.
That makes sense.
It's British chocolate is so much better. Even the like American chocolate, like the Kit Kats and stuff over there are better.
Kit Kats are made by another company in America than in the UK. I think I remember hearing that once.
It's not Nestle?
No, it's America. I think maybe America Kit Kats are made by Hershey as opposed to Nestle.
Weird.
I love me some Galaxy though.
Yeah. I wanted
Galaxy. Wait, you have Galaxy though. It just has a different name. What is it called here? Dove.
Oh.
That's the same? Really?
I think so. It has the same brand. It has the same branding. It looks the same.
That I think of the Galaxy, the gigantic M&Ms are like when
the minstrels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like when Elton John talks about how he can't go to sleep if there's cocaine in the house, he has to do it all. Like I have to eat the entire, no matter how many bags I have, how big it is, I will stay up until I've eaten every single minstrel.
It's still getting hotter. What about I like the gummy things. I can't remember.
Oh, the wine gummies.
The wine gums are good,
gums.
and I also like the
Haribo?
Yeah, Haribo. The like Haribo assortment or whatever there.
Mm-hmm.
The bus driver usually a massive amount of Haribo gummy bears on the bus.
He also usually gets us a thing of Quality Street, which is also really good. But usually, again, it's that like massive family-sized tins. We usually go through that in about an hour. And then
actually, I was just telling this story the other day. The bus driver also will do like these great barbecues. And last tour, I was just eating and drinking my beer and talking away. And at some point, Craig pointed out that I was drinking a non-alcoholic beer.
That's right. I forgot about that.
No idea.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have this now because I tried to wait on that one for a while because I wanted the full experience. And I think I got it. It was starting to just fade then, but it's like, that was really weird. I've had ones that have come in waves before, but not one that like was moving through my body, but like backwards. was like it started here and then it moved back up.
Sent you to. Oh, never mind. Apollo's not a planet.
Yeah, but that is the Glenn pointed out that it's that's the
backdraft.
The last dab. It will send you to the moon. Oh, Hannah, I wish we had a box of stuff to try on Patreon. We should figure out a way that we can have people send stuff if they want us to try things on Patreon.
Well, we've only done the tasting things when we're in the UK because that's obviously the best way to stock up on stuff.
That's true.
But we do have that shop quite near us. So if people wanted to suggest things for you guys to try, I can go and get stuff.
That'd be fun. That'd be good.
Yeah, that sounds great. Whatever. That's fine.
Oh, Sarah went. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, there you are. Thank you. A shout out also to McVitie's, which I also really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The dark chocolate McVitie's, or
we could go ahead.
Those chocolatey rounds from Marks and Spencer.
Mm-hmm. The extremely chocolatey rounds. Yeah,
those are really good. Yeah.
We could have a biscuit tasting special.
Yes.
Sarah is, again, making fun of me and saying, how about some Werther's Originals for having old people candies? And you know what? I like a Werther's Original. So, once again.
Werther's is also an old lady candy.
That's very much an old lady candy. I totally can appreciate that. Yes, Glenn wanted to come back for a second, so we're going to bring Glenn back. Hi, Glenn.
So you've climbed to the top of Mount Scoville. You've bested the gauntlet. So now you've got this camera or that camera. Let the people know what's going on in your life.
Thank you, Glenn. Glenn is, I mean, I would do this as a whole series, just like Glenn can host. The next time, if we do this again, and I will say, because a bunch of Wheatus people were unavailable today, but were interested in this, I would happily loan anyone these hot sauces so that they can have this experience themselves. I think Brendan would do it. I would hope. Joey, I think Joey can do it.
I think I can handle that one. How does it compare to the Samyang noodles?
It's just different. I can't even say. It's just a different.
Because I am still upset about the Samyang noodles.
You know what I'll say actually for the like this is closer to that. This is the Reaper, the Eye of the Scorpion pepper. Mm-hmm. Like that has that similar kind of heat, which is just like really like intense, like bite in your mouth. But this one, yeah, it's like it's as if like you take a bite, and it just becomes part of your DNA immediately, and it's just like. It's like turning into Spider-Man. I felt like it was like working its way through my system. Anyway, yeah. So Glenn has given the official Hot Ones ending, which is I'm supposed to plug what I'm working on. Some of you might know I am in a band called Wheatus, and we have a new. Actually, I don't think we've said this yet. Most of you have heard this already, but for those of you who haven't. Oh my God, it's still not over. We have the next single, the next pair of songs from the 2020 album are coming out on February 28th. And it is going to be Through, which we premiered on a Patreon live stream a few weeks back, coupled with the brand new recording of Sunshine. Which features our own Brandon Tyser on the banjo.
Banjo.
Yes, banjo.
Banjo, which is very exciting and sounds great. It comes out on the 28th. I'm going to post it for Patreon people earlier than that. What else to tell people about? There's a new album that just came out on Friday by another band I'm in called Fashion Bird Danger Danger that has a song that was co-written and is sung by Joey, which is why I can plug that in this context because it features a few of us. I feel good about that. Check that out if you're interested. That's a fun, weird, not at all like Wheatus type thing, but super fun. And that's it. That's all I
and
gotta
just
say.
in case anybody didn't catch that, it is literally the words fashion, bird, danger, danger.
Fashion, Bird, Danger, Danger is a band that was started by me and John Leszewski of the band Late Cambrian, who some of you might know because they opened for Wheatus a few times. And it's sort of like an experimental pop record. This is our second full length and third release. The album is called Phanerotimes. Obviously, you'll find it. It's on Spotify and all those things. The song that Joey sings on, you're credited, but it's called Evil and Discount Fabric. Yeah, it's fun. We're excited about it.
Yes.
And again, I'll post that single. Oh. I'll post the single. I'll post the single on Patreon in the next week. The Wheatus single, which is the reason why you're all here. Thank you for indulging me in this. This went pretty long. I sort of thought it would, but I'm okay. I feel good. Yes, Glenn is saying wash your hands because I am doing a lot of this kind of thing. So I actually am. We're going to end this, and I'm going to go wash my hands before I touch the wrong thing. And as Glenn pointed out, or Hannah, I'm sorry, Hannah said this. This is in homage to Hot Ones, which is a YouTube series that I love and I highly recommend people check out. And if you're going to watch anything, go on YouTube and search Hot Ones Gordon Ramsay and watch the Gordon Ramsay episode. It is delightful. Enjoy. And thank you guys for joining. And if we want to do this again, we're going to just be aggressive and we're going to bully other Wheatus members into doing it because that's what we do around here. We bully each other. And
I could probably go get Corky's. I think has some hot sauces.
There you go. So we can do a modified version of it for Brandy. We can put something together for you. And you can add it to your trademark bland chicken.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out moving forward. Thank you all for watching. As always, thank you for supporting us on Patreon. This was fun. I will be fine, but I am gonna go wash my hands. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.